of this moment, the tunnel is closed.
Before sunrise, Ibrahim laced up his old boots. It was the last shift of the month. The village lay silent in the dark. Only the wind stirred the coal dust. A single lantern glowed outside his small house. His wife Amina stood in the doorway. She held out a cup of warm tea. She pulled her shawl tight against the cold. Their daughter Layla slept under a thin blanket. Ibrahim kissed her forehead before he left. He whispered a quiet prayer under his breath. "Ya Allah, protect me today," he said softly. The mine entrance stood dark at the hill's base. Other miners waited near the gate, faces tired. Each man carried a small metal lamp. The gate creaked open, same as every morning. Ibrahim stepped into the tunnel behind the others. The air grew thick with dust. The walls pressed close on both sides. In places, the ceiling hung just above his head. He crawled forward through the narrow passage. His shoulders scraped against the rough coal wall. Sweat mixed with black dust on his skin. He reached the coal face and started working. His pickaxe struck the wall again and again. Each strike echoed through the empty tunnel. Hours passed to the sound of metal on stone. Far above, sunlight touched the quiet village. Amina worked in the small garden behind their home. She pulled weeds from the dry soil. Layla played nearby with a broken wooden toy. Money was tight for the family that week. An unpaid bill sat on the kitchen table. Amina stared at it, worry in her eyes. She closed her eyes and whispered a prayer. Back in the mine, the ground began to tremble. Small rocks fell from the ceiling above Ibrahim. He froze and listened carefully. Another miner shouted a warning from behind him. The old wooden supports groaned under pressure. Dust filled the tunnel like thick smoke.
Run!
The lights flickered,
It's coming down!
then went dark. Ibrahim covered his head with both arms. A section of the roof gave way nearby. Rocks blocked the narrow path behind him. His heart pounded inside his chest. He remembered his father's old words. "Trust Allah, even in the darkest tunnel." He dug through the fallen rocks with bare hands. Minutes stretched into what felt like hours. Finally, a small opening broke through the debris. Fresh air touched his face for the first time. He crawled through the gap toward the light. Other miners pulled him out into the open tunnel. His hands were bleeding, but he was alive. The supervisor called an early end to the shift. Ibrahim walked home slower than usual that evening. His legs shook with exhaustion and relief. Amina saw him and ran to the door. She held his dusty face in her hands. Layla wrapped both arms around his leg. That night, the family gathered around a small fire. Ibrahim told them what happened underground. Amina's eyes filled with tears of gratitude. "Allah saved you today," she said quietly. The next morning, news spread through the village. The mine owner announced the tunnel.
As of this moment, the tunnel is
Many
closed.
miners would lose weeks of pay. Worry spread through every small house in the village. Families began cutting their meals in half. Ibrahim sat outside, staring at the empty hills. He wondered how he would feed his family. A neighbor named Karim brought over a small bag of rice. "We share what we have," Karim said, smiling. Ibrahim thanked him with a grateful heart. That week, an old friend visited from a nearby town. He mentioned a new mining project needing workers. Ibrahim listened closely, a flicker of hope in his chest. The new mine had modern safety equipment and taller tunnels. It offered steady work and fair wages. Ibrahim traveled 2 days to reach the new site. The manager tested his skills alongside the other workers. His years of hard experience impressed the supervisor. He was offered a permanent job on the spot. Ibrahim closed his eyes and thanked Allah silently. He returned home with good news for his family. Amina cried tears of joy at the doorway. Layla jumped into her father's arms, laughing. The following months brought slow, steady change. Ibrahim worked in wider tunnels with strong roof supports. The new mine used steel bolts to prevent collapses. He no longer crawled through narrow, dangerous spaces. His wages let the family repair their small home. Amina planted new vegetables in their garden. Layla started at the village school for the first time. She carried her books proudly down the dusty street. Ibrahim watched her walk to school each morning, his heart filled with quiet pride. On weekends, he taught young boys basic mining safety. He wanted no father to lose his life underground. Karim often joined him, sharing tools and advice. The community slowly grew stronger together. Years later, Ibrahim stood at the mine entrance one last time. His hair had turned gray from years of hard work. Layla, now grown, stood beside him in a nurse's uniform. She had saved her own money to study medicine. Ibrahim looked at his daughter, eyes filled with tears. He remembered the narrow tunnel and the falling rocks. He remembered the fear, the prayers, the small mercies. Every hardship had led him to this quiet moment. The sun set gently behind the hills. Ibrahim leaned his old pickaxe against the wall one last time. He looked up at the sky and smiled softly. "Alhamdulillah," he whispered, "for every hard day that brought us here." Amina took his hand as they walked home together. The village lights glowed warmly through the evening dust. Somewhere behind them, a new generation of miners began their shift. Life went on, hard but hopeful, beneath the same quiet hills.